Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? Well, we're heading down from Armu and we're stuck behind a big diggering lorry. Let's give it a bit of a boot for Miss Andrea and see how fast the old girl is. There we go. Look at that sky, by the way. That sky is very, very blue indeed. The sea, well, you're about to see it very, very shortly. And it's back to its blueness, that's for sure. Mr. Paul, dressed head to toe in blue, especially for you. All it's missing is you. Want to get yourself on that big bird or that canoe and start paddling like crazy. Because I promise you that Paphos is quite simply waiting for you. Miss Anne with the small P, get yourself on that big bird. I promise you Paphos Promenade is quite simply waiting for you. Ali and Neil, come on down. The price is right, as they would say in downtown Paphos. Christopher and Paul, come on down. Come and walk the Paphos Promenade with us, if you will. And perhaps we can sit and enjoy a drink or two in the Paphos Harbour area. But look at that for a view. That's a view that quite simply takes your breath away. The beauty and the spectacality as we look down across uptown, midtown, into lower town Paphos, and of course out into the abyss of the blue Mediterranean Sea. Big shout out to some of the superstars who like to watch the little channel known as Marika and me. The girl in charge of the show, the one and only superstar Miss Dame Anne. She's back in the UK and she'll be back all over again in September, and of course we're looking forward to seeing her chuchka dancing and hopefully entertaining her while she's on her holiday in downtown Paphos. She really is a star and she is our girl in charge of our little show. And there'll only ever be one Dame, and her name is Dame Anne. Some of the other superstars, well, of course we've got Lady so sweet Caroline and her partner in crime, the one and only Lord Nigel of the Big Guns. They'll be coming to town, not that long to go, to be honest. And of course there's two of the naughty boys, the couple of pains as I call them, Lord Jeremy and Lord Simon. They'll be coming to town very, very soon. At the moment Lord Jeremy is unwell, but don't worry, he's going to come kicking and laughing back into the show very, very soon indeed. We got him in the naughty boys corner along with Lord Simon, who's looking after him and feeding him a Pepsi Max or two. Yeah, terrible stuff, eh? Especially if your name is Miss Andrea and you've got a bit of a peacock in your life, and his name is Mr. Mart. So there's lots and lots of superstars out there. Of course, we've got a girl who's in charge of all of the legalities on our little show, and her name is Miss Anna, our superstar, all the way out in downtown Poland. And a very, very good morning to Mr. Thomas, her husband, and a very, very good morning to their son, Mr. Bart, who of course is my great friend. Mr. Dirk, all the way out in Germany, and of course Mr. Michael, all the way out in Germany. They're going to come to Paphos very, very soon, and you never know, we might get them to do the chuchka down the downtown gate of Paphos Promenade. And there's many, many superstars coming today. My cousin King James, he's coming soon. Of course, he's going to bring his Queen Karine, with him, and if that means that he's a king and she's a queen and they've got a daughter, oh yes, that means that the little princess known as Princess Darlie will be coming to town as well. And of course we understand that she has been protecting and protesting up and down the lounge doing her chuchka, which means she's going to be dancing it down the Paphos Promenade with Misochin receiving out of the booth. Now there, I was actually shocked and confused my words that man in that van was courteous and came to a complete stop to allow me to turn in front of him. That is very, very unusual in Cyprus. The only person I've ever seen do that is a man in a black S-Class, and his name is Mr. Paul. Oh, that's me. Anyway, there we go. Courtesy on the roads all over the world. To be honest, he's not there anymore, is it? I tend to be pretty courteous. I try not to run people over. I really, really do, especially if they're tourists. You never know. They may have subscribed to the channel. They may be family members, and they may like to watch us now and again. Oh my God, gridlock. Is he blonde? We're in gridlock in downtown Paphos. What's going on? Oh my goodness. In a minute, I'm going to undertake them and swing across them and start waving my arms in anger because, you know, we're stuck in a traffic jam in downtown Paphos. Early morning, if you're understanding what the time it is, and the sky, it's beautiful. It really is. We are blessed to live in downtown paradise, and we understand that many people pay an awful lot of money to come here, and we do keep our fingers crossed that when you arrive that the weather is always good. Over the last few weeks, if you followed the channel, we've been having some dust storms, we've been having a bit of wind, we even had the odd shower, but overall the weather was still rather good. And the temperature, oh yes, if your name is Miss Dawn, you've got a husband called Mr. Sean, a little cat called Miss Daisy, and of course a very clever dog called Mr. Bobo. The weather today, the temperature, if you're curious to know, at 9 o'clock in the morning is 23 degrees with a forecasted high of 28 degrees and blazing sunshine all day. So that's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. Now, on that note of Mr. Bobo, that very clever dog indeed, why is he so clever? Well, on top of being a very handsome dog and living up there in the Peak District and strutting his stuff in the fields, he now and again likes to go and borrow the little plastic friend, that credit card of his owner, Mr. Sean, and buy us a coffee or two. He clicks through to our About page and he hunts us down on the Buy Me a Coffee platform. And then he treats us to a hot latte with a little bit of sweetness in it, especially for us. So if you want to hunt us down, or if you want a special video for you, want to click through to our About page where you can hunt us down on the Buy Me a Coffee platform. Marika and me buy me a coffee, and you can treat us to a coffee or two as a thank you or a gesture of kindness. And we thank you very much from the bottom of our two hearts. Right, we're heading up to Atlas Coffee, if that's what you're wondering, by the way. We've just come past the General Hospital. Here we've got the post office, that's the Paphos District Post Office there on our left hand side. So you're having something shipped to you, like some drugs or something like that. Perhaps if your name is Daniel Mahoney and you've got a bit of sweetness in your life. And of course a brother called Peter, who's coming out to Paphos very soon, Dean. You never know, we might get to sit down in T&J's and all have fish and chips together. You never know. Look after your sweetness, Mr. Daniel, because she's always right. Good morning to you, Miss Sherry Wright, and we're hopefully you're feeling much better, and we're looking forward to seeing you very soon, that's for sure. Here we are, we're heading up. This is the Anavargos area. Again, if you want to give a name and a title to it, doesn't mean much to you or me, but that's what it's called, Anavargos. Coming up here is the Home Market, which is like a DIY shop. It also sells furniture, it sells pretty much everything for your house. Home Centre, there we go. And it's quite a nice building as well, by the way. And it's got a big lift in the middle of it and an open garden and a bit of a fountain when you switch it on. Nice enough people, owned by a chappie called Mr. George, and all of the staff speak very good English indeed. So pop in and say hi and say to George, how's your mum Josephine, because she's actually the boss, but don't tell George. There we go. Right, let's keep going. We're heading up towards the Tremathusa and Tala area, and on the crossroads where you would turn to go to Tremathusa is where the Atlas Coffee Shop is, which is where I go, well, 2 or 3 times a day, because I believe it's the best coffee in the whole of Paphos. And once I was lucky, I really was lucky to be accosted by a superstar, and his name is Mr. Philip, and he lives up in Tala. Got a spectacular wife all the way from India, and her name is Sita, and one of these days, hopefully, we're going to bump into each other again. He has threatened me now and again, and he walks all the way down and he walks all the way up, because he's obviously a bit of a nutcase, and on top of that he likes to have a bit of a walk. So he probably walks about 3 to 4 kilometres each way every day, which I suppose is not that much, but in Cyprus that's a lot, because in general people just don't like to walk. They like to drive around chucking out those CO2 things, because nobody cares about it in Cyprus, and it's just too hot to walk, and most of us are just far too lazy, that's for sure. I always drive quite carefully, by the way, because just so you understand, if you are coming to Paphos, Cyprus, and you're going to borrow a car, hire a car, steal a car, or perhaps someone's going to kindly loan you a car, drive carefully, because the boys in blue are pretty much everywhere, and and they are quite simply waiting for you. They've also got these little speed vans now. Little vans, they're not marked very well, little tiny things, and they park them at the side of the road, and well, there's a camera in there, and it zaps you if you're speeding, if you're talking on your mobile phone, if you're making a YouTube video, those kind of things. It zaps you and sends you a fine. And unfortunately, you then have to go on the internet and you have to pay it. Otherwise, if you're in Paphos, Sergeant Stavros comes round with a couple of gumbarus, and they put their steel toe caps on instead of the flip-flops, and they kick 7 bells out of you. So it's very, very simple. Don't speed or talk on your mobile phone or make a YouTube video while you're driving around. Talking about gumbarus, there you go, on the other side, there's a couple of them, and they're frantically hunting for a kebab shop, because they're thinking lunch is not that far away, you know, or brunch even. I mean, it's 9 o'clock now, so you've got to stop for a kebab at around 10, around 11 and around 12. And of course, you can't take the mick out of all the kebab shops. They'll only give you so many free ones. And of course, you've got coffee planning and all these kind of things to do as a police officer in Cyprus. But to be honest, they are the best police I've ever come across. Very, very lenient, shall we say. Not the word lax, we won't use that. Very, very lenient, and very, very polite as well. They really, really are indeed. So please have respect for them, and don't speed. That's the one they really, really don't like. If you're in and around Paphos, why not drive at around about 60 kilometres an hour, and you'll have no problems. Look at this. I can't park. What's going on? This is the Atlas coffee shop. I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit that like, click that subscribe, and perhaps come back for a little bit more of my complete and utter madness. Thanks for watching, and of course we will see you again very, very soon. And if you want your hair cut, well, you can pop in there. Not that I have much reason to go there, but apparently it's one of the best hair salons in downtown Paphos. See you again very, very soon. Look at the blueness in that sky. Wow, spectacular. Thanks for watching.